So why am I always talking about soft tissue body work in pregnancy? This is why right here, and I'm going to explain. My name is Mariah Dyfee. I'm a labor and delivery nurse, but I'm also a body worker, and I created dysfunctional labor maneuvers. A big focus in dysfunctional labor maneuvers is fascia, and I'm going to show you why. So you see this little piece here. This is a myofibril. This is a muscle fiber. This is a fascicle. And then this is a skeletal muscle. Let's break it down. So imagine all these straws are this little myofibril that you see. So you take all these myofibrils and you create a bundle. And this bundle is called a muscle fiber. Muscle fiber right here. Now, it takes about 60 to 100 bundles of muscle fibers to create a muscle fascicle. But each muscle fiber is actually wrapped in a connective tissue called fascia. This particular fascia is called endomysium. And all the muscle fibers are wrapped in fascia. So you can see each has its own covering. Now you're going to take about 60 to 100 of these muscle fibers, bundle them to create a muscle fascicle. Now remember, each fiber is wrapped in fascia. This is how deep fascia goes. And now here we have a group of all the muscle fibers into a fascicle. So you got about 60 to 100 muscle fibers wrapped each in their own endomysium fascial covering. And now you've got the muscle fascicle, which in this, each bundle is actually covered in fascia, and it is called the perimysium. Now, if you notice in the picture, there's a whole bunch of these fascicles, and each one is wrapped in fascia. Just happens to be called perimysium. So then you take this fascicle and group them all together to make a bundle, right? And now we have a skeletal muscle. This is what we're most familiar with, the skeletal muscle. And yes, the skeletal muscle is wrapped in more fascia, but this is called the epimysium. And inside all of these bundles of muscle fibers, fascicles, you have your blood flow, you have your arteries, your veins, and your nervous system. And they're all weaving through all these fibers and fascia. So fascia is not just a connective tissue, it is actually a system that integrates and interweaves with your nervous system, your circulatory system, lymphatic system, and even your energy system, like your chi. And imagine if this fascia is not hydrated, that it's dry and sticky. Let's go down to the small muscle fiber. If your fascia is dry and sticky, it will not slide and glide. We are meant to have muscles that slide and glide against each other. That's how contractions happen when we're talking about muscle movement. And technically, muscles lengthen and they shorten. But imagine if you have this muscle fascicle filled with muscle fibers that can't lengthen and shorten. This is going to affect the whole muscle, meaning it'll affect the fascicle of the muscle and the skeletal muscle itself. So we won't really be able to move freely the way we're supposed to. Instead, you'll have all this stickiness where things are not sliding and gliding the way they should. That's how muscles move. And imagine if they're all kind of stuck and gluey together, what that's going to do to these arteries, veins, and nerves. This could cause a communication blockage because signals can't get through. Or maybe even blood flow can't get through. You notice that when you do cupping, the darker the purple is, that's where there's a lot of stuck, stagnant blood. So if you understand how muscles are supposed to slide and glide, when we talk about labor, the uterus is a muscle. And all of that, all the fibers have to slide and glide with each other with each contraction. But if there is stuck and sticky fascia, then the uterus is not going to function the way it should for labor. And that's when we see dysfunctional labor patterns. It's not always about a malpositioned baby. So if you want to have a very, very smooth and easy birth, get soft tissue bodywork. So all of your muscles and muscle fibers and fascicles are sliding and gliding the way they're supposed to. And if you are a birth professional and you want to learn how to help your patients or clients even better, take dysfunctional labor maneuvers. Link is in the bio. If you have any questions, type them in the comments. And don't forget to like, follow, and share.